Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vape Politics Radio, Episode 9. We are on location today at ECC in Sonoma, California. Just wanted to give you guys a quick intro and tell you what we'll be up to today. There will probably be background noise, as there is with any event-type coverage. You can probably hear some right now. I'm hoping that you can't, but you probably can. But moving forward, we are going to talk about the state of the industry. Because at this moment in time, nearing the end of 2015, we have come to a crossroads. And the choices we make will determine what happens to the industry and whether or not we survive the coming storm. I will be talking with e-liquid manufacturers, mod manufacturers, wholesale distributors, and pretty much anybody and everybody that I can talk to today about what is going on with the industry and how we can fix the perception problem. All this and more coming up today on Vape Politics Radio. What is your favorite part about vaping?
The variety of flavors.
The flavor.
Probably the flavor.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Vape Politics Radio on location at ECC in Sonoma, California. I thought we'd start off today with some e-liquid manufacturers and kind of get their opinions on what really is going on with the industry and what they're doing to not only support advocacy, but promote a good image for the industry within everything they do. So I'm here with Nick. Nick, you want to introduce yourself and your company?
How's it going, everybody? I'm Nicholas DiNuccio. I'm with Propaganda e-Liquid, and we're out of sunny Orange County, California.
Awesome. So when did you personally, and then when did Propaganda enter the vapor industry?
Personally, I've been vaping for just about 4 years now. I've always kind of been a hobbyist vapor, and then I started working at a shop, and through working at that shop, I started kind of developing my own flavors and working on that, and that's what brought Propaganda e-Liquid into the industry.
Right. So I know that you're a veteran vapor. You've been vaping for a few years. How do you think that the vapor industry has changed in the past 3 or 4 years?
I would say that it's definitely increased in size. I'd say it's become very saturated with manufacturers and e-liquid companies. I mean, when I first started vaping, you had to order stuff online. There was maybe one shop, and it was like 30 miles from me. So I'd say that a lot of people have entered the industry, but I'd also say that it's also advanced quite a bit from the technology that we were using 4 years ago.
Right. From the community aspect, the community 4 years ago was super tight knit. You had authentic vape meets, which were about 10 to 15 vendors. You just had maybe 200, 300 people, and it was all about community and bringing in the smokers to get them off cigarettes. Do you think that shows, kind of like ECC, do you think that we've forgotten about that part of shows, which was to bring smokers in?
I don't think we've forgotten about smokers. I mean, I know Enjoy was, willing to donate a bunch of starter kits for every smoker that comes in the door and little stuff like that. I would say that our target has shifted, but I wouldn't say we've forgotten about the smokers.
Right. Next question. Do you think, and this is a loaded question, so I'm going to forewarn you, do you think that the move towards sport-type vaping, and by that I mean cloud competitions, strict competitions, who can build the lowest ohms, do you think that type of vaping, the sport type, has projected a bad image on our professional industry?
And that's a tough question. I don't think it's portrayed a bad image on our industry. Personally, we sponsor a few Trick members. We give them some gear to shoot some videos for us and stuff like that. The cloud competitions are another story. You never see a smoking competition. But I do think that the tricks and stuff like that brings kind of like a cool aspect to it. And in a sense, it is marketing in a sense. People have people smoking in movies for a certain reason to give off that cool aspect. And, I wouldn't necessarily say it's the right thing to do, but I would say, but I also wouldn't say it's the wrong thing to do either. It's kind of a gray area in my opinion.
Right. So as you yourself and then as Propaganda, do you support advocacy when it comes to protecting the electronic cigarette industry?
Myself and my company fully supports advocacy. We are part of SFATA. We're a part of Vape Free Youth. We're a part of various other organizations that are slowly getting off the ground. But that's a very big concern for our company and us vapors in general.
Right. Let me bring up something because I didn't know anything about you guys being involved with Vape Free Youth. Tell me a little bit about Vape Free Youth and how you guys got involved with that.
Vape Free Youth is a website started with kind of like a statement of principles. Actually, not kind of, it is a statement of principles that basically says a few main points. Like, we're not going to market to children. We're going to be manufactured a certain way up to a certain degree. We're going to have certain safety specifications such as like child-resistant caps, heat shrinks, certain warning labels, barcodes, just pretty much legitimizing our product. And primarily that we're making a statement that we're not marketing to children. Just because we have, various flavors does not mean we're targeting a child. So we started this website. A few major companies such as Cosmic Fog, Space Jam, Dimitri, and Mountain Oak, Five Ponds, and a few major companies got together and kind of started this website. And basically, you can register your company on there stating that you're following these statements of principles,
Gotcha. Now you mentioned Five Ponds, and I'm not going to get into that, but I am going to ask the question that probably a lot of people are asking right now. When it comes to your company propaganda, give us a little bit of information on the diacetyl and AP in propaganda.
Okay. So all 5 flavors are diacetyl free. We are working on eliminating minute traces of AP and wildfire. It came to our attention when we retested the batch that it had minute traces. Nothing that could be, have any ramifications to it. But we'd like to be able to say that our entire line is AP free. So we are pretty close to getting that down, probably in the next few weeks here.
Awesome. So circling back around to advocacy, this is the main question I'll be asking everyone today. And for those that listen to my show, they know I say all the time that we have a perception problem. And the fact of the matter is that perception is reality. The way that the public views us is the way that the public sees us. It is factual to them. So 4 years ago, the public didn't see us at all because we were small, we were minute. Now we're big, but we have this almost 20-something-year-old running around chasing clouds vibe to us. The kids running around Walmart blowing clouds of vapor into smoke detectors. That's the way that people see us now. How do you think that number one, do you agree that we have a perception issue? And then further, how do we fix it?
No, I completely agree. I really strongly feel like we do have a perception issue. I watch it all the time. Being in Orange County, being, one of the biggest vape counties, I guess you could say, kind of where it's our backyard, I see it all the time, in restaurants, people blowing clouds in front of kids, and just vaping where it's really pretty disrespectful to be blowing clouds and vaping, especially indoors where somebody's trying to enjoy a meal or just trying to run an errand, In my personal opinion, I think if you can't smoke somewhere, it'd probably be pretty disrespectful to vape there. Trust me, I enjoy vaping indoors as much as the next person, but I'm not going to blow a cloud next to a family trying to have a dinner, know. So I would agree, the perception on this industry is very, very bad, in my opinion. And how we fix that is, in my opinion, just being respectful, being a respectful community, If there's kids around, just move down the street a little bit, go outside to vape. Don't vape in places that you're not supposed to vape, walking through a Target or like a Walmart, like you were saying, Be respectful of your surroundings and show people that we're not, just a bunch of 20-something-year-old kids running around blowing clouds, having cloud competitions,
Right. So being a Californian and being a company that is in California, SB 140, that entire event happened about 2 weeks ago, and now we're heading to a special session. But instead of talking about the special session, let's talk a little bit about what happened at the actual hearing.
So it was pretty interesting. SB 140 was a huge scare to all Californians and shops that are in California. So, I think we got a good amount of people out there, and we supported, and we said what we had to say, and thankfully, the bill was declined, and people were upset on the other end. But and then it's like half an hour later, I see memes going up about the senator, and it's like, how are we gonna be a respectful community when we're doing that?
Right. I will say this: the special session for the unadulterated version of SB 140, which would still be massively detrimental, is coming up. Is propaganda ready to get back out there and talk to some legislators?
Of course, we will be there.
Awesome. Well, Nick, I appreciate your time, brother, and we'll see you at the next show. Welcome back, everybody. I am over here at the Ethos booth, and we are going to talk some more with another e-liquid manufacturer about the state of the industry, what's going on with them, and a little bit about advocacy. You want to just go ahead and tell us your name of your company, and how you entered the vapor industry?
Absolutely. My name is Justin. I'm here with Ethos Vapors. I am the mixologist for the company. I started the company about 2 years ago. I had a friend come to me and asked me if I could make juice, and I was really involved as far as the industry as a whole. I was smoking for 10 years, started smoking at 15. Not a good thing, but it happens. And by the time I was about 25, I was approached with a gentleman who offered me some money and a stake in the company if I could do it. And I was really involved with the industry, going to shops, the hardware, just the whole vibe of the industry as a whole is very laid back, very cool. It was something I really enjoyed. So I had the opportunity and I took it. I said, I don't know if I can do it, but I'll do the best I can, and I won't stop until I can put a product on the market that can do what the product did for me, and that was quit smoking. So I approached my brother, who was a business major at Cal Baptist University in Riverside, called him up and said, hey, we have this opportunity. I want you to run the business. I'll handle all the manufacturing, production, but I want you to go out and make those contacts and put this company on the map. So that's basically how it started. And our first show was actually ECC last year. And here we are again a year later. We're in the main booth now. We started out in the back tent under some vents, just with some fold-up tables and chairs. And this is who we are. This is what we're doing. And a year later, here we are with, embroidered couches, cabinets. I got a full sales team behind me, and we're just a family, man. We're not here to try to be the big dogs on the market. I mean, everybody's trying to make some money in this industry, but at the same time, it's all about what we got here for and why we're here.
Right. So how do you think, you being in the industry for the last 2 years, how do you think the industry has changed since you got into the game?
Well, right off the bat, I'm going to say, when I first started vaping, a lot of the mixes were 50-50, 60-40 the other way with PG. The devices that we use, mods, tanks, a lot of people started out with cartomizers. I started out with like one of those blues where it looks like a cigarette, and you just preload the juice in the cartridge and it just heats it up, and that's how I started. And today we have these mechanical mods with some old coils. We have regulated boxes. The mixture in the juices has changed from 50-50 blends to 60-40. Our company, as Ethos Vapors, we run a 70-30 blend. So it's evolving. It's ever changing. Right now, a lot of companies, manufacturers are struggling with FDA regulations and quality of the juice, and so that's really what we're focusing on, is bringing the best quality product that we can to the market.
So I'm gonna run you into some loaded questions. Do you think that the move towards sport type vaping is projecting a bad image on our industry? And when I say sport type vaping, I mean cloud competitions, trick competitions, seeing who can build the lowest, that type of stuff. Do you think that is what we need to be projecting to the public, and by the public to the FDA?
I think the industry is misunderstood as a whole. I believe with the trick type vaping, I think it's something for our generation, and this industry is a young generation. We have business owners from 19 years old all the way up to 35, 40, but majority of the people are a younger class. So we're going to do what appeals to the younger generations. I feel I feel like it's good in a sense that it brings the community together. I mean, getting 150, 200 people into a single vape shop to hang out, to have fun is a great thing. As far as the dangers behind the sub-ohm building and blowing clouds like that, I think there's a way that we can do it to where it can be safer for everybody and be respectful to the general public as a whole. You know, bringing it to an event, to a shop, and having the clouds in there and doing stuff like that with the people that are comfortable is, in my opinion, is okay. But when we're out on the streets and, you know, when we're in general public, people look at it as smoke. They see the smoke, they think it's smoke. If they don't realize it's vapor, they don't understand it. So we need to be respectful to that, and at the same time allow the community to really focus on what we're trying to do and why we came here, and that's to quit smoking. Right. So that's what we need to focus on.
So with what you just said about it looking like smoke, that leads me into my next question, which is, in my opinion, we have a perception problem. We are perceived as the 20-year-olds running around Walmart blowing vapor into smoke detectors. And what you just said kind of struck a chord with me, which is that it looks like smoke. That's the perception. We know it's not smoke, but it's perceived as smoke. So we have a perception problem. Agree, disagree? What are your thoughts?
I 100% agree with you. I think the general public as a whole looks at us as a bunch of children, and the way that some people in the industry carry themselves is not appropriate. It's something that we will struggle with because we are a younger generation, and because, just like you said, it looks like smoke. They don't understand that it's a vapor production. They don't understand what's going on behind it. And if we want to reach out to, you know, the older population, as far as the people that are in the politicians, you know, in their mid-50s, in their 60s, the people that laid the foreground for us to even have this possible, we got to look at the fact that, what are we doing this for? Why are we doing this? What are the things that we can do to make this better? And I think the best thing to start out doing is follow the rules. You know, if there is a smoking section, vape in the smoking section. If there is a no smoking zone, do not think that you can just go in there and start vaping. We got to follow the rules that they gave us, because
I just wanted you to bring the mic up.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we're here because we all started smoking, and we have the opportunity to create an industry to better ourselves, better the general public, and pull people off a product that is, at the end of the day, killing people, and that is a fact. Bottom line, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cigarettes are killing people every single day, and we have the opportunity to present a product that could save lives. And I think that's what we need to focus on. That's the image we should be portraying, not the fact that, you know, we're a bunch of kids and we're going to blow smoke here and we're going to blow smoke there. And it's not, there's no CO2 coming off of it, and it's not secondhand smoke, so it's not as harmful. It doesn't matter at this point. We got to look at the fact that as a whole, that's how they perceive it. So as a whole, that's how it needs to be respected until we can change that image. And the only way we're going to do that is by pulling together and showing that we're a respectable group of people.
Going off of what you just said with getting together, like joining together, this is the big loaded question of the interview. Some would say that we have stopped targeting smokers and specifically targeted vapors instead. Considering the fact that from a business standpoint, the vapors are the minority here, how do we balance that? How do we make sure that the average Joe who needs 18 milligram is going to be able to get off smoking? Because if we all go to Max VG, if we all go to 036, how are they going to get into vaping?
So as a business owner in the industry and somebody that manufactures e-liquid, predominantly, yes, I feel like we have a focus for the people that are already in the industry. Now, that being said, as somebody who was a smoker and smoked for a lot of years, and I have not smoked a cigarette in over 18 months because of vaping, I think the focus, as far as mechanicals and devices goes, is really targeting now towards tank systems, something that reloadable cartridges, something that is a lot easier for a smoker coming in and needs a device that's quick, that's on the go. Experienced vapors, yes, we like to drip. It's a lot more fun. You get more involved with it. But as somebody who's coming in, who's just quit smoking cigarettes, they are the ones that we need to focus on as far as projecting the image for this industry, because at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. When I first started this company, I started it because I enjoyed it, because I loved it, and I wanted to do something else besides smoke cigarettes. The way it made me feel, the way I smelled, just the way that it makes your skin, your physical look, it's just not good. And creating flavors that people could vape all day to help remove that sensation for the nicotine, for the tobacco. And let's face it, all the other chemicals that are involved with cigarettes is something that I strive for. Now, as the industry is evolving, there's ways and there's other things that are coming out that allow a 70-30 blend to be put into a tank that's going to allow it to be fed through the coils, to heat up. A lot of these sub-ohm coils in these new tanks is adapting to that type of market so that the people who are just coming in can still hit those high VG flavors in a sub-ohm tank and still feed through the cotton, still saturated. You're not getting dry hits. I think as the industry is evolving, we're definitely focusing more on the things that we started with, and that's quitting smoking. And with these new advances in technology that for devices that are allowing the vapor production, we're definitely covering those masses. But I do think that we are losing focus in some sense as far as what it is. And those are the people, if we stuck strictly on the people that are already vaping, the industry would die out. But the fact is that if we can keep focusing on the people that are smoking and pulling them off the cigarettes and into our vape industry, everybody has the potential to make a lot more money, to band together, to unite, to allow everybody the opportunity to do what the people already in the industry have done, and that's to quit smoking. And that's what we're all here for.
Awesome. So just one last question, and then I'll let you get back to your, I'm sure, very busy day. Do you support advocacy? As a company, does your company support advocacy?
Absolutely. We are 110% behind advocacy. It's something that we need. I was actually just talking with another company owner yesterday about this, and the fact that our industry is so young, we need to focus on the advocacy, because a lot of people won't take us seriously because we may or may not look like a bunch of children that just don't know what we're doing or what we're talking about. So we need to support the right people in the right positions to allow them to fight the fight for us, because we can pull together. And let's face it, kids our age, kids in the age group from 18 to 25 are not focused on politics. They're not looking at it. Very few are watching the news. Very few, know what's going on in the world. And I'm not saying that to bash anybody. I'm just saying it because as a general public, we've lost focus on that. And in order to make sure that this company is going to thrive, we need to pull the younger guys together and unite and stay informed on what's going on, and unite with people like Vaping Militia, SFATA for Southern California, all these advocacy groups that are going out, Vape Politics, so we know what's going on. So we know we can stay involved and we can reach out to the people that need to be reached out to, senators, public figureheads, so that they can go and see not only is this industry helping pull people off cigarettes, but this is our generation's American dream. There's more people our age making money in a way that we never thought was possible because of this industry. And the fact that it pulls away from big tobacco sales, and it's helping the young kids get off tobacco and still make money, I mean, it's a win-win for all of us. If we can just figure out a way to where it's fair for everybody to make money, that we can still support our legislation, still support the states, the government as a whole. That's what we need to start looking at. Is instead of he said, she said, or this is bad and this is good, we need to look at how we can meet in the middle so that everybody can be happy, so that the industry can continue and the states and the federal level, the state level, everybody can be involved, and we can work together at pulling people off cigarettes, put them on these much healthier way of getting that nicotine, and unite, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's said over and over again, united we stand, divided we fall. It's simple, but it works, and we got to unite together. That's the only way this is going to work.
One of the things I say on the show a lot of the times is I'm not sure if you've ever seen the television show Lost, but one of the main lines in that show was "Live together, die alone," and as an industry, that applies to us here. If we do not stand together, if we don't stop the infighting, if we don't stop the calling out, if we do not join together, the industry disappears, because we can destroy ourselves a lot faster than the FDA can. All right, Justin, I appreciate having you on, my friend. Is there anything you want to say, closing statements?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to everybody that's supporting the industry, everybody involved, as manufacturers, modders, tricksters, everybody. We just got to come together and just focus on what's ahead, because there's a storm brewing, and we just got to stay focused on what we are here for and what we're trying to do. And just remember that it's all fun and it's love. We're here together. Let's make sure that we stay together.
Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. What is up, everybody? I'm over here at the Bankcard USA booth, just kind of talking shop with everybody. Want to introduce yourself real quick?
I'm Gabriel Benson with Legacy Liquid.
Awesome. So where's Legacy Liquid out of?
We're out of Riverine, California.
And you guys are kind of new, right?
Yeah, we've been around for about, I guess, about 3-4 weeks now. But we've been, as a group, we've been around for a while. I've been in this industry for a few years. My partner, obviously, is Austin Hopper and Holdfast. They've been around for forever.
Right. So Legacy is a brand new e-liquid line. Who would you say that's more geared to? The current vapors that we have, or the smokers?
We kind of found the middle ground with this, what we're trying to find. We found flavors I think will appeal to somebody who's brand new trying to get into the business, but also I think the flavors I think will appeal to both, really.
Awesome. So how is Legacy, how are you and Austin really getting involved when it comes to the community and advocacy as a whole?
Well, that's definitely kind of actually why we came up with the names. We talked about a lot of different names, and we kind of started actually talking about where we want to be in a few years and what legacy we wanted to leave. So one of the things we're definitely doing is this is going to be kind of the starting point of a lot of things that we're talking about. That's really going to be kind of a way of helping really grow this business and kind of grow the industry into kind of a more, the next level is being a little more mature level of the industry.
Awesome. So let me ask you this. Legacy is involved with this new idea about protecting your e-liquid by storing it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Well, basically, as we see in the news, obviously the people are leaving the liquid out and the battery fires, all kind of different things. So we said, okay, what we need to do is common sense reform here. It's kind of say, what can we do to help that? And we started with Dave Revolts and a few other people, and they come up and said, basically, lock your stuff up in a very simple to use box that has great storage, keep your liquid safe, and that's really the first step that everybody should get behind.
Awesome, fantastic. I appreciate you coming on, brother. Welcome back, everybody. We are on location here at ECC, continuing to talk with e-liquid manufacturers about the state of the industry. So you want to just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your company?
Yes, of course. I'm James Toe, the owner of Steep Vapors. We launched about a year and 2 months ago. But our Pop Ds just barely started gaining traction after the Vape Summit when we launched it from there. So just a little background here.
So how do you think the vapor industry has changed in the past couple of years? Going from a small community of ex-smokers to the large community of vapors?
Well, me personally, I've been smoking for 6 years. And when I started vaping, my buddy opened a vape shop. And, I think that's where I started seeing the transition, really. And it was about 2 years ago. It was easy for me to slow my consumption of regular cigarettes down using vape. And then that's really my point of seeing where the vape community. So I can't see where it was before that, but how I seen it, all my friends, everybody, even my grandpa, I seen their lifestyle kind of change around a little bit. Everybody started, going into the more alternative of the healthy stuff. Everybody started juicing it, everything, and then all of a sudden the vaping popped up, and everybody's like, okay, this is the healthy alternative for vaping, for cigarettes. So let's jump on that wagon. And I don't know. I think it's definitely changed a lot, and I think that it really has helped people. It's helped me. And I think that's really like the story that I see it come from. So it's helped me, yeah.
Awesome. So I do have to talk about the elephant in the room. Your main flavor, the one that is really major brand, is surrounded by a bit of controversy. Do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, I think, with everything good always comes bad, but at a certain point too, Steep Pop D's came out. The inception of it was about 3 months ago, and we were actually sitting on that popcorn flavor for a year. So we had the rest of the line going, and then we had the popcorn flavor pop up. And I just thought that was the right time to release the packaging. And me coming from a creative aspect of making that design, I wasn't thinking. Let's say, I'm not thinking that I'm doing this to market to kids. Of course not. I'm doing it because it's visually appealing to an audience that I want to market to, which is myself.
Right.
And so we made the packaging. Brought it out, put the little vape surprise aside. I do have to say in 2015, I do believe that that's probably the most original product that's out. And I definitely have to back my product up. But at the same time, we were getting a bit of scrutiny, from the advocacy, from the political side of things. And I definitely have to agree. Would I say it was a mistake? I wouldn't necessarily say it's a mistake on thinking about growing a business. But, of course, there was some issues. And I think that, my whole thing is that there's no company, you can't name one company that started perfect. But me, as a company that is seeking for perfection, you can expect improvement. And I think that that's what our company has really done, from point A to B, changing our box up. We have this new limited edition box that we're launching at ECC today that has no relevancy of Cracker Jack or anything like that. Just basically really trying to, listen to what the community has to say and trying to grow our company as well. So,
awesome. So now come the loaded questions. Number one, do you think that the move towards sport-type vaping is projecting a bad image on our industry? And when I say sport-type vaping, I mean the cloud competitions, the trick competitions, the let's see how close we can get to 0.00 ohms type of deal.
You know what? I guess it's going to be two-sided to this question, but I would say that I love it. I love seeing people come out there and supporting this, whether it's this sport thing, and my company is actually going to start a sponsorship as well, and we love it. I think it's dope to see a lot of people come together and relate to something. I think that that's one thing about this community that's so strong that doesn't happen in centuries and decades is that some people from all over, they could be any race, they can be into anything, but they can come together because of vape.
Right.
That's what I love about it. So I think that, moving forward with these sports, of course, let's not to get too carried away with, how things go. But I love the fact that everybody is in on the stage. Everybody is grouped together and everybody's blowing smoke. What's not, we're in the vape community together. What's not so awesome to see about that? I like it. Of course, there's going to be people who disagree.
Right. Second loaded question. Do you, as a company, support advocacy?
Of course. I really do, and I think that that's why we listen to what people have to say. I don't have to do no explaining for ourselves, but I do listen to what's going on outside of the community or what's inside of the community speaking about us. And I think, like I said, no company starts perfect, but just expect improvement from Steve Vapors, and that's what we're doing right now.
So the last question, and this is the question that we kind of talked about in our pre-interview conversation, some would say that we have stopped going after smokers and specifically targeted vapors instead. Considering just from a business standpoint, the vapors are the minority when it comes to our target audience, how do we balance the two without alienating one of them?
Well, that was a question. That's a very good question, and I think it's going to be hard right now. But I think that moving forward, these companies do have to cater to that and do specifically market to maybe the people who want to quit. And I think that's very important. And I know that you were mentioning something about how the companies are only doing the 0s, 3s, 6s, and the 12s, but there's also the other side that's doing the 12s and the 24s. And I think, our company has actually talked about that. Obviously, I mean, as far as selling the 12s and the 24s and the 18s, do we sell that much? No, but should it be in stock? It definitely should be.
Right.
I think it definitely should be. And I think that that's where it's going to move towards for sure.
Awesome. So do you have any more closing remarks? Anything you want to say to the listeners of Vape Politics Radio?
Yeah. Everybody enjoy vape safely, and continue to support the community because no matter what they say, I mean, we're here as one and we got to act like that. And, definitely. Awesome. I'm here.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our next segment. Welcome back, everybody. This is Noah Richardson here at ECC with Vape Politics Radio, and I'm sitting here with Trevor from Sour Batch to talk a little bit about the industry and to maybe clear their good name a little bit after the incident at New Jersey Vape Expo. So we'll just get started. Just tell us your name, your company, who you're with, and how you entered the vapor industry.
Hey guys, my name is Trevor. I'm from Terra Vapes LLC, and we're the creators of Sour Batch, which is now known as SOS for Spot On Sour. And we're here at ECC, the Liquid Guys distribution booth. Is that good? Do I keep going?
And I'll cut out little pieces. So Trevor, let me ask you this. What happened in New Jersey?
So on Saturday, that show, we were just rocking our booth all day, and then kind of towards the end of the day, somebody had approached us with their camera out and grilling us on our marketing and our branding and all of that. And they really caught us off guard after a long day. And he basically, TMZ style, crucified us for what we were doing. And we've had a lot of people approach us at other shows and try to give us their 2 cents on what we should do with our brand. And where should I go with that? And so basically, oh God, sorry, I'm not good at these things. And so we just had to, answer all his questions honestly and remain calm throughout it, although it was a very aggravating situation to be in. And just kind of had to let him do his thing until he felt that he got what he needed to do to kind of put his opinion out there.
Right. So after that video went viral, and within the vaping community, it most definitely did go viral. Right. The public outlash was just immense. It was very large, the outcry from which number one, the people were defending you, and number two, the people were coming after you. But would you consider that as the wake-up call you guys needed to change your marketing?
It was definitely a wake-up call for us, and it definitely put our name out there in a bad light for the most part. There was an obvious 2 sides of the fence on all of the social media comments and whatnot, as far as people defending us or people on the side of the person who made the video. And it was very black and white. However, on Sunday, the day after the video came out, we had just gone around and talked to some major advocacy people that were at the show and kind of just had a conversation with them and really saw how they felt about it. And it was actually them who convinced us to rebrand our brand.
Right. So now with SOS, has Sour Batch been completely changed? Like from now on, no longer known as Sour Batch, SOS only. So tell us a little bit about that. What's going to go on in the future with SOS?
Okay. So right now we're still doing a little bit of advertising, trying to let people know that Sour Batch is now known as SOS, and trying to really make it clear that Sour Batch is a dead name. And so in the future, we have plans for SOS to just continue being nostalgic flavors in a grown-up bottle. And we really like our new design. It's got a super, I don't even know what to call it.
Clean.
Yeah, I guess it's a really clean design. It's got some sacred geometry in there, which is a couple of our personal appeals and interests. So we kind of like to incorporate our personalities into our branding.
So I'm going to ask you a bit of a loaded question, and I want honesty, and if you don't feel like answering it, you don't have to, and we'll edit it out. But I do think it's a question that needs to be asked, especially with coming from a company that was just 3 weeks ago the subject of such controversy. Do you think that the move towards sport-type vaping, and when I say sport-type vaping, I mean trick competitions, cloud competitions, building as low as you can, do you think that has projected a bad image on our industry?
My personal take on that is actually yes. And what our argument always was when we were at Sour Batch and people would come and tell us that we need to change our brand, was that the appeal to youth actually comes from the vapor production. Kids see videos on YouTube of big clouds or on Instagram of tricks and everything like that, and they want to do that. They want to emulate that. And so I think that that's what is really appealing to children, and I think the more public these competitions get and the bigger and bigger they get, I just think that's going to be more and more of a bad image on the community.
Let me ask you one more loaded question, and then we'll let you get back to your day. But some would say that we have stopped going after smokers and specifically started marketing and branding towards vapors instead. Being that vapors are a very small minority when it comes to smokers as a whole, how do we balance the two without alienating one of them?
Well, it's very obvious to a lot of companies that a vapor is an easier sell. You're going to have an easier time getting a vapor to get a newer product that they're already familiar with. They know everything that it can do. They're going to want to pick it out like it's a new iPhone. However, I think it's very, very important that we continue to stay true to our roots on why this industry has come to the point where it's at, and that's because we all quit cigarettes and started vaping. And I think that's being forgotten, that the people who are still smoking cigarettes need to stop for their own personal well-being. And so I think the companies that are really doing well with vapors need to see if they can do just as well with smokers and create a product that can really help someone quit cigarettes and continue to stay off cigarettes and become a part of the vaping community.
Well, Trevor, I appreciate you coming on and talking to me about some of that stuff. Is there anything else you want to say, closing words?
Just thanks for having me, and I look forward to being a big part of the community.
Awesome. Appreciate you. We'll move on to our next segment. Welcome back, guys. This is going to be the final interview for Vape Politics Radio here at ECC. We are still here on location at Hall 4, and I'm over here at the Revolve booth with our good buddy Austin Hopper. Austin, you want to tell everybody what we're doing here?
Well, we're coming out and we're actually just being a part, being one amongst many, and I'm glad to see you save the best for last. No question about that, Noah.
Always for you, Austin. I'll always save the best for last. So tell me a little bit about Revolve, what's going on, and the new campaign that you guys are pushing with a few other vendors.
All right, 2 questions. Let's start with the first one. Revolve is basically lover backwards. So if you look at our flavor profiles, we got Friends with Benefits, we've got Date Night, we've got Her Addiction, and it's just putting a nice positive spin. So when people say, who are you marketing to? There's no question who we're marketing to. We're marketing towards adults. So there's no question about that. This was the launch, and I just can't thank the vape community enough, because I've had the privilege of being with some amazing brands, and just to be able to launch something and have people overwhelming response coming to the booth and just picking it up. They don't have to try it. They don't have to do anything. Like, awesome, we're not worried. We know it's you. It's going to blow up. So it's just amazing. All my distributors have come out. So my Missouri distributor, my Arizona distributor, Florida, Georgia, everybody's picking it up. So it's going to be in stores near you very soon. But, there's just that type of campaign. And then we thought, well, what's the next thing? What do we do? And how do we support the community as a whole when it comes to vaping? And that's when the Vape Responsible campaign came out. So we partnered with Vault's Vape Lock, the vape cases, so that we can actually lock them up with combination locks. So one of the things we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a social media campaign so that people can show us how they vape responsible, whether that's putting it on a high shelf, that they have children in the house that they can't get to, that they're locking it up, they're putting it in a toolbox, whatever it is, for a chance to get one of the cases. Because what we know, and you and I were there when Mitch Zeller said, you guys are sitting on your hands and you guys have got to do something. And we all know the biggest platform for any politician is children, because everybody will get behind protecting children. Well, guess what? The vape community is protecting children too, which is why we're doing the Vape Responsible campaign. That's what it's about. That's why we're doing the Vape Responsible campaign, because if people need to lock up their medicines, they need to lock up their guns and their ammo, they need to lock up their liquid nicotine as well. We're giving them the avenue to do it. We're going to be putting it on with a bunch of Vaping Monkey, Avail Vapors, Legacy, Hold Fast, Council of Vapors, Propaganda. A bunch of people are going to be getting involved in it. I assume you won't be able to walk into a vape store where you're not able to get this product. Anybody who needs to find out how to become part of the Vape Responsible campaign just needs to email me, austin@revolvevapors.com, and we'll get them set up. This is not an exclusive project. We want everybody involved, everybody who's in the vape community. You know me. I do it for everybody and not just me.
Awesome. So I am going to ask you one more question. We didn't talk about this in pre-interview because I honestly forgot about it. But this is the question that I've asked every single person I've interviewed thus far this weekend. When it comes to the vapor industry, it seems that in the past year and a half, we have started targeting vapors instead of smokers. When it comes to liquids, when it comes to hardware, and when it comes to our social media platforms. Number one, do you agree? And number two, how do we fix that? How do we change the narrative to get back to getting smokers off of cigarettes?
Well, I think we need to remember that we once were smokers. Now we're vapors. We have to remember that we're not an elitist group, and that it's one big vape community. So we've got to figure out, and I'm not sure how to do that yet, but I don't see any reason a traditional smoke shop should be able to carry premium e-liquid, right? As long as they carry the right hardware for it, as long as they have a trained staff. And if that means as manufacturers, we need to go in and train these stores to do that, then that's okay. Now, if they carry drug paraphernalia or they're carrying all kinds of other products that we just shouldn't be involved in as a group, CBDs, for instance, I'm not a fan of CBDs, don't want to be involved with CBDs or any paraphernalia products. But tobacco products, they already classify us as a tobacco product, and I know we're all trying to change that. But the key is, if we're going to get smokers, they go to smoke shops. They don't go to vape shops, because a lot of the times when they come in, they don't understand it. And people run in fear from what they don't understand, right? And everybody's going to come in, they're going to pick a particular product off the shelf because that's what they're used to. If you're not a vapor, you don't know that you want Hold Fast. You don't know that you want Cosmic Fog. You don't know that you want Space Jam. You don't know what you want. And we need to take time and slow down and remember, not everybody has the experience we have. And not that in this industry is still in its infancy stage. Let's remember where we came from and be one amongst many.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. One more question. What do you think about the event?
I'm glad that I'm a part of ECC 2015. I know that there's been some amazing things done since we've been here, and there's been some things that need improving. But as I can say, I've never put on a vape convention, so what I will say is I'm sure it's a lot harder than it seems, and we probably need to get some committees together for the next one to make sure things go off without a hitch. I understand there was an issue with one of the Mac family. My heart goes out to them. My prayers are with them, because I think that's a lot of the struggle, because I think they're focused on other things that are really much more important than whether or not we're giving out T-shirts and juice.
Awesome. Thank you, Austin. Beautifully said. Well, everybody, that's going to do it for us here at Vape Politics Radio and vapepolitics.com. We'd like to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode and kind of catch up with what we're doing and what the e-liquid manufacturing side of the industry is up to when it comes to advocacy and everything else they're involved in. We would like to take a moment to talk about our gold sponsor, who also happens to be an e-liquid manufacturer involved with advocacy, Bulldog Vapor in Atlanta, Georgia. www.bulldog-vapor.com. On behalf of everyone here at Vape Politics Radio, we would like to thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.